I am slightly getting over a cold, so sorry if I sound weird. So recently I reread one of my 5-star reads and I really liked it, but I also felt like I wanted a new 5-star read. So this video is basically this video will end once I find a 5-star read video. I'm currently reading Unsteady by Peyton Corin. I don't think this is going to be a 5-star read. It is kind of a surprise because for the first 50% of this book, I didn't really like it. I found the writing to be like very Wattpad-y. Not that Wattpad-y writing is bad. It's just most of the time I'm not into that type of writing. I'm like 70% of the way through. So like the second half is really surprising because I think I'm starting to like it, but definitely don't think it's going to be a 5-star read. So I'm going to wrap this book up quickly because I've been skim reading like my life depends on it. Okay, I finished Unsteady by Peyton Corin and I think I settled on like a 3.5 rating. The reason why I didn't like the first half of the book was because I felt like the main characters were using each other as a crutch because Reese is the captain of the hockey team, but he got into like a really bad injury. Because of the memory of that injury, he kept having a lot of panic attacks. And then Sadie, who's a figure skater, she has a lot of problems back home because her mom abandoned her and then her father is a very big alcoholic and also she has 2 brothers to take care of. So she also doesn't really have the best mental health in the beginning of the book. So then when they first met each other, they were kind of using each other as like a crutch. I like that they exchanged like music playlists and stuff. I thought that part was cute, but I also didn't like that they kept hooking up because of the fact that they had like so much trauma that they were using each other. But then we got to the second half of the book and they started talking about their trauma and I was like, okay, trauma healed, sort of, not really, but they talked about it. We're good now. They're not using each other as crutches. So I don't know. I would say my rating for the first half of the book would have been like a 2.5, and then once we got to the second half, it raised to a 3. Although I did skim like the spicy scenes quite a bit. I mostly skipped them, but I heavily skimmed them. Yeah, I'm gonna settle on 3.5. I really like the ending and I really did like the mental health aspect of this book. Like we got the therapy, we're good, we're healed, everything's fine. I also did really like the characters in this book. Like I got very attached to some of them. I thought I wasn't gonna read like the second book when the second book will eventually be released, but I think I might because I really liked Ro and Freddie and apparently they'll be the 2 main characters in the next book. I also think Torin might get a book eventually. Torin was kind of like the bad boy in this book, but also like the villain, I guess, in a way, because he's the one who caused Reese's injury. I'm also kind of very curious about him, so I hope he gets a book eventually. I also liked Reese's interactions with Sadie's brothers. I thought it was so cute, and also like Sadie's families, like her and her brother's interaction with Reese's parents was also really cute. I don't know, I really like the family interactions. I'm on my second book of the video. I'm reading Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez because I want to read this before the summer ends. Honestly, she's probably my favorite romance author right now. So the characters in this book are Emma and Justin. I believe Justin is the best friend of the main character's brother from the second book. Justin has a problem where when he dates a person and they break up, that person he's dated goes to find like their soulmate or something, and it's happened to him like multiple times. And then one day he posts this on social media and this girl named Emma finds him, and Emma also has the same issue where when she goes to date people and they break up, they also find their soulmate. They think if we date each other, then maybe that'll cancel out our curse. So Justin suggested that maybe we should date each other, then after a certain amount of time break up, and so then after we break up, we'll both find our soulmate. I'm really liking this book though, like the conversations they have, because they live in different places right now, so they've been calling a lot. Just Justin asking about her day, like simply asking about her day and wanting to know every single little detail. It's so good. It's so good. Abby Jimenez writes such good men. Also the fact that every single man that she's written about has a dog. But yeah, I'm just gonna continue reading and I'll update you guys again later. Okay, updating quickly because I have to be up early tomorrow. It looks like over 50% of the way through. This book is so good. I wrote down a couple notes because I was afraid I was gonna forget some stuff that I wanted to tell you guys. Okay, first of all, Justin being flustered when he and Emma first meet in person. Also, this was a jump scare to me. Neil from the first book, Alexis's abusive ex-husband, returned in this book. I'm just like, what the hell? Is this the same Neil that was like an asshole in the first book? You want to know why Neil's back? He's here today Emma's mom. And speaking of moms, both of the main characters in this book actually have mommy issues. Like, I'm not even kidding. Justin's mom is going to jail, and then Emma has like abandonment issues because her mom abandoned her like so many times when she was young. And then last but not least, every single best friend Abby Jimenez writes in books is so great because I love Maddie in this book so much. Sometimes she's a bit intense, like when she first met Justin, literally did the thing across the neck where she's like, I'll kill you. Now that she loves Justin, she's literally like to Emma, you have to keep this man, keep him on the leash. leash. Like, she's literally such a wingman. I'm honestly glad I decided to read this before the summer ends because I was almost thinking that I wouldn't get to it before school started. School is starting so soon, guys. I'm like so sad. I wanted to read more books and then I got into such a bad reading slump this month. Is this gonna be a 5-star read? I have no clue if I'm being honest, but I am really enjoying this book, so I do think I'm gonna rate it like very highly when I'm finished it. I realize I look slightly crazy right now, but you're gonna have to deal with it. Also, I have my retainers in, which is why it might sound a bit weird. I just finished Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, and I really wanted to review this right now before I went to sleep because this book was actually kind of crazy. It didn't turn out to be a 5 out of 5, sadly. It was a 4.5 out of 5, which is pretty close. There was just something about this book that was missing for me, and I really can't put my finger on why, but I really did like it, and you have no idea how crazy the ending was. I feel like everything came full circle, and some things make so much more sense now. Like, seriously, like, you have no clue. I know a lot of people have skipped the first book in the series to read like Yours Truly or this book, but seriously, you have to read the first book in this series to understand some things in this book because it's actually crazy. Also, you know how I mentioned Neil? I feel like he's become hysterical at this point. He actually went crazy in the ending of this book, and I'm not even kidding. But yeah, 4.5 out of 5. Definitely enjoyable, definitely shocking. So I started Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. I heard this was like cozy fantasy, so I thought this would be like a good book to get me back into fantasy books because I desperately wanted to read a fantasy book for some reason, but I don't know if I'm feeling it right now. I'm kind of bored, not gonna lie. The beginning of this is very, very slow, and I'm only like 21 pages in, so it's still currently very slow. Like, I know fantasy books have like world building and everything, and normally I like that, but for some reason this one just feels, I guess, scholarly to me. I don't know if that's the right word. It feels like very scholarly, but mostly because like main character is in the middle of literally writing an encyclopedia, so that's probably why. I don't know, I'll just continue it for now, but if I switch to another book I'll let you guys know later. It is taking me a long time to finish this short book, and you know why? Because I'm bored. I have no clue what's going on with this magic system here. I'm sort of confused, and then it's just like, I don't know if I like either Emily or Wendell. I mean, I like their interactions, but as like individual characters, I don't really know if I like them all that much. Also, I feel like I'm just very confused about everything because they just entered like the Fae world or whatever, and then Wendell had like a very big secret. Emily found out that secret, didn't tell him she knew that secret. Then there was that whole thing. I don't know if I can tell you guys that because it doesn't say on the back, so I think that's spoilers. And then it's just like, again, I don't know if I like either Emily or Wendell because Emily, I don't know, she was okay. I just found her to be very boring. She just didn't have that much personality. I don't know what's with this girl. And then there's just Wendell. I think he's supposed to be charming in his own way, but really I kind of just find him to be sort of annoying. I don't know why. But yeah, I think that's all for now. I'm like over 50% of the way. Hopefully I can finish this tonight because I really want to move on to another book. I wouldn't DNF this if I wasn't enjoying it in some way. Like, I am enjoying it like a small amount. The pacing just feels so slow to me, even when there's like a fight scene happening. Like, the fight scenes are okay, I think. Still don't really know what's going on with the magic system again, which is part of the fight scenes. I don't know, we're just rolling with it. I'll hopefully finish this today and pick another book.
I think I have a habit of finishing books at around 1 to 2 a.m. now. So I finished Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett, and I settled on a 3 out of 5 rating. It wasn't a bad book. I was just really bored for like a majority of it. Also, I just never warmed up to either Emily or Wendell's characters. Like, I liked their interactions. I thought their romance was cute. Yeah, I don't know. It was just so slow to me. And also, I know what happened in this book, but at the same time, I have no clue because so much happened. Like, you have no idea. There were so much marriage proposals. I'm not even gonna go into detail about that, but when you get to the ending, it gets crazy. Like, there was so much that happened in this book, and I think it just made me slightly more confused. So yeah, 3 out of 5. I'm gonna go sleep, choose another book tomorrow. Good night.
Okay, we are now on to our 4th book, I believe. I borrowed a book from the library, and it's The Oracle Queen by Kinder Blake. It's like a prequel novella, and I really don't know why I felt like reading this, but I did. It's about why oracles are mentioned to be like dangerous in like the history of this world. So like basically this is kind of the history of why that started, and I'm kind of enjoying it because I think the main love interest just showed up. I don't know why, but I always really like novellas for some reason if they have like a little romance in them. But yeah, it's been a while since I've dived into this world, so it might take me a while to get used to some things, but I think it's slowly coming back to me. I actually might start looking crazy in a lot of these clips because school just started, so that's great. So I might be finishing a lot of these books at night. I just finished The Oracle Queen by Kinder Blake, and I rated it a 4 out of 5. It wasn't a 5 out of 5, but I really liked it. For a novella, the pacing was like really good. There wasn't exactly a romance, but if there was, it would have been like very subtle. Yeah, it's been a while since I read a Kinder Blake book, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. The next book I'm reading right now is also another prequel novella by Kendra Blake, and it's in the same series, The Young Queens, I think, and it's the second prequel novella. I've read the main series before, which is why I'm reading the prequel novellas. I'm not reading them without any reason, okay? I have read the main series. It's just for some reason, years later, I just decided to read these. But yeah, I have to wake up at 6 a.m. tomorrow, so I'm gonna go to sleep. Maybe I can finish this second prequel novella tonight, and I'll let you guys know tomorrow.
Never mind, I literally finished this book in an hour. The Young Queens by Kendra Blake, I rated it a 3 out of 5. Honestly, it wasn't much. It was just like a 90-page novella. I don't even think it was 90 pages. I think it was like 80 because it only took me like less than an hour to finish it. So it's basically about the main characters from the main series when they were younger and like why they are the way they are and like why they forgot each other. But yeah, it was pretty interesting, I guess. But also, I just wasn't invested for some reason. So 3 out of 5. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't the best.
It has been a while, but that's because school started. I think I already mentioned that, and it's taking up a lot of my time because I'm taking statistics this year. Really don't want to fail that because I don't want to retake it, so I'm trying my best to pass it the first time. I think it's either the 5th or 6th book. I can't count at this point, okay? I've lost track. I'm reading An Ember in the Ashes by Sabatir. I believe that's how her name is pronounced. I'm liking it so far. I'm not too deep into it because, again, I've been busy studying, but from the amount I've read, I'm really liking it so far. The writing is very easy to read. I'm not 100% sure what's happening because I didn't read the blurb on the back or anything. From what I can understand, there are 2 major groups here, and it's the scholars and fighting people. What are they called? Marshals. They're called marshals. There's the scholars and the marshals. The scholars are being oppressed by the marshals. The marshals' whole world revolves around like fighting, and there's like an academy and everything that kids from the age of 6, and I believe they graduate around maybe the age of 18 or something, and they go through these harsh trials to become the final version called a mask or something. That's what they become when they graduate. I'm not 100% sure why the scholars are being oppressed in this world. Yeah, honestly, I have no clue. It's just the marshals seem really against scholars for some reason. But we have 2 main characters so far. I don't really know how they're pronounced. I'm gonna say Leia and then Elias or Elias or something. Elias is a marshal, but the first 6 years of his life he lived with scholars, and then Leia is like a scholar by blood, and her brother just got taken by the marshals because he was keeping a secret of some sort, and so now she's trying to find this group called the Resistance so that maybe she can help her brother escape from the marshals, and that's pretty much all. I'm only like 15% of the way in, I think. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to finish this book because school's really taking up a lot of my time right now, but I'll do my best. When I get around 50% of the way through, I'll let you guys know. Okay, I'm like sort of 50% of the way there. I'm like 45% in, which is close enough, so I decided to update you guys now while I had the time. Currently, our main character is spying on the commander of the military academy, and then our second main character, Elias, he's going through like trials to become the next emperor or something. Like the trials pop up out of nowhere. I feel like I'm getting very repetitive. I'm using this book for another video as well, and I think I'm getting like the 2 confused, so like my brain's all over the place right now. Also, I just came back from an ADM class, which is kind of killing me because I was like half asleep during that entire class. It's stats. I can't be half asleep in that class, and I can't remember if I already said this for this video or not. This book honestly has 5-star potential, and I'm so excited to read like the rest of the series because I think this is gonna be like a slow burn romance because they've met. The 2 main characters met, and I believe they're each other's main love interest, but it's not like they're in love with each other, right? Like they have some sort of attraction to each other, but I have a feeling this is gonna be like a really good slow burn if it goes through all 4 books. Guess what we just found? A 5-star book. I don't know how long this took me, especially with school now. I think it took me like 2.5 weeks or something. I don't think I was bored for a single moment of this book, which is like really impressive. It wasn't like it was fast paced or anything. Like it was a really good pace. It was really interesting the whole time. I don't really know how. I just really loved it. I love the world, love the characters. And like this is a dystopian world, but then there's like elements of fantasy in it, and the romance is like subplot. Like it hardly showed up, and I really like that. But I have a feeling in the second book there's gonna be a lot more romance because of how this ended. This is like the first time I want to dive into the second book of a series like right away after finishing the first book. I don't know, I don't find many books like that nowadays. The fantasy books I've been reading this year haven't been the best, if I'm being honest, and they haven't made me want to read like the sequels or anything, but this one literally makes me want to read the sequel right now, which is what I'm gonna do actually. So I'm gonna end the video off here. I hope you guys enjoyed and hope to see you in the next one. Bye!